goodness.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Jeff with Great Expectations Realty. You were probably expecting to see Andrea, and she is on her way here right now. But for the home buyer workshop this morning, we have Karen, and we're going to kind of pause right now, just give everybody a little more time to get here and be ready to see what's going on and wait for Andrea to get here. But if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in a chat box there, and we'll answer whatever we can. But we'll see you guys in a little while. If you want to, we can talk. It's what we'll do is we'll talk about the market right now. It's what's things are going on in Marion County year to date. Total units sold this year already are at 1,800 houses sold just in Marion County. Our average price is $306,000. Average days on, believe it or not, days on the market, the prevailing market seems to be 0 to 30 days, 842 units sold in less than a month. So we're still a hot market right now, and across the board for everywhere. But that's what I know at the moment. I'm not comfortable. Look, Kara's laughing at me like she didn't know she was going to be on the stream today either. So it's okay. So we're kind of hanging out, waiting on Andrea. So if you have any questions, feel free to holler. We're here. Do y'all have any input? I've got a peanut gallery over here in the corner. I'm gonna put them all on the spot right now. So that was Elottie, in case y'all couldn't hear. I'm sure most of you guys know Elottie from everything else that's going on around here. And my lovely bride Tristan's over there somewhere too, hiding, waiting on other people to get here, I think. But new construction, we still have a ton of new construction coming right now in Marion County. Marion Oaks is still growing like mad. Hidden Lake, I know Adams is building in Hidden Lake. Dunellen is growing a lot. So we've got a lot of new construction. Seems to be everywhere right now. Deltona is building like mad. D.R. Horton has several. Lennar has several communities. So we're a hot commodity in Central Florida at the moment. So for those of you who are familiar with them, Buc-ee's is coming to Ocala. Yes. Which exit is? I know they're putting in a new exit.
316.
Is that right?
It's it's going to be by, it's in between Highway 27 and 326.
So it's north of Highway 327, south of Highway 326, right there off I-75. They're putting in a brand new exit just for Buc-ee's, I think. So I'm excited about it. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with Buc-ee's, but Buc-ee's is Walmart and 7-Eleven had a baby, and you got Buc-ee's. It's huge. It started out in Texas, if I remember correctly, and they've kind of spread all over the place. There's several in Tennessee now, Georgia, Alabama. I think Kentucky's got one or two. So it's a growing little store, but it's great. Google them, look them up on YouTube. There's videos galore on Buc-ee's, and you'll die. Food. The food is outstanding. They've got brisket and pulled pork, and I could go for hours. A whole beef jerky wall. Have you been to a Buc-ee's?
Yes, I have.
I love Buc-ee's.
Yes, I have.
Look, y'all quit laughing. Everybody knows that this is not my comfort zone, and I shared that earlier.
You're doing very well.
I feel like I'm rambling, which I am. Well, you want to tell us about yourself at Union Home?
Well, we can go back to the construction.
Absolutely,
We
please
have
do.
a great construction product. We go conventional, 95%, 5%
Right.
down. FHA, which is just our 3.5% down. We do VA, which are 100% all construction loans. USDA as well. We'll
Nice.
do construction perm. Yes.
Good. Now, what about land? Can y'all get somebody financing for just vacant land?
No, sir.
Okay.
Don't have a vacant land product.
So what if they're wanting to build a house on the land? Can you
We
wrap
can
it into a package?
Yes, we can. We can incur it all in one loan.
There you go.
Purchase of the land, or if they own the land, then they want to build on it.
Right.
That equity is part of their down payment.
Okay.
Yeah. Great construction loan we have. a dedicated construction department that handles all the draws, inspections.
So it's a what they call that, Tristan? A builder's loan, basically. Is
Construction to perm.
so you just pay
They pay
principal or interest only until it's done.
interest on the draws during construction on a conventional loan. Yes.
Okay, nice. Which is great, especially when you're building, because it does take a year and a half to build a home, and that's what we did. That's what our loan was.
Mhm.
I wasn't with you guys. We're just gonna leave that there. But we as they build, the builder actually goes to your financial institute and say, hey, we're at whatever percentage. I don't even know the landmarks they were looking for as far as completion.
Well, there's 5 draws during construction.
Okay.
So depending on how much they've completed as to how much we will give them in a draw.
Right. Okay.
There's a typical draw schedule for the 5 draws.
That's it. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it was great. That I think they did our land clearing, poured the pad, did some other little odds and ends, and then took a draw.
Yes.
And then it was, they would come to us and go, hey, they're asking for a draw.
Then we send the inspector
as
out.
the builder.
Yeah. Send the inspector out to make sure that the work is completed to receive that draw.
Right.
And we give a draw to the builder.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, we did that. It was a lot of fun. It was very.
Really? A lot of people don't think that's fun. But
Tristan, did you enjoy it?
Yes. And no. But yes.
Yes and no.
Mostly yes.
It was long. I mean, it was.
yeah.
That was the worst part. Was not knowing.
We were renting a house, waiting to move in our house. It's like, come on, let's go chop chop.
The fun part's picking out all the colors, your
Oh,
cabinets.
that was a blast. And we
That's
built
your
with
fun
Triple
part.
Crown. If any of you guys have watched my videos in the past, you know that we went with Triple Crown to build our home, and they did a phenomenal job from the design center to the plan. They were great to work with. So
Good
that's my
builder.
plug for them. I love them a
Good
lot.
builder.
Look, we have a question. My house is sold, closing 6/2. I want to offer on a house contingent on a sale. Okay, so yes, we can write that offer. Some buyers are a little hesitant. 6/2 is not that far out, so you're still 30-day close, but they may ask for a little bit more in escrow, or there may be other stipulations in there. But I've actually got another client that's looking to buy a home, but they want to close the end of June. And we've put in a couple of offers, and that was the hang up is, because of how fast homes are selling, they don't want it to sit on the market and then that loan fall through or that house sale fall through, and then subsequently their house falls through. So Anthony, I don't know if that made it clear as mud or if it helped at all, but I mean, you can write an offer, and it's a crapshoot as to whether they'll take it or not. So in the past 7 days, let's talk about the market in Ocala in the past 7 days. 391 new homes have been listed. 58 had price increases and 280 had price decreases. 100 houses went back on the market. 291 sold and 392 are pending. We only had 75 homes canceled because the contract lapsed on the listing. So, or what have you, who knows why they canceled them, but that's just the past 7 days, 391 new listings. And I'm sure y'all are seeing a lot of this too, aren't you? It's just
Yes.
ridiculous.
The turnaround. Short turnaround.
Yes.
It's still happening.
It's amazing. I mean, everybody keeps talking about how everybody else is slow. And I'm like, look, I don't know where y'all are at, but everybody's coming here, I think. So that's, for us, it's still a very hot market. I watched an individual the other day. I forget the guy's name. He was talking about, everybody's expecting the bubble to burst. Everybody keeps saying the bubble's going to burst. The bubble's going to burst. And he goes, you know what? I don't think that our bubble in Florida is going to burst. I think we're going to have a bubble over a bubble. And he went on to explain that because everybody's moving here, etc., we're the preferred landing point for a lot of people. According to CEP, we were number 1 in address changes last year. People moving too. So that was quite the shock for Marion County. Yeah, in the country. We're number 1 city in the country. People changing address and moving to.
Wow.
So I don't know if you went to the luncheon or not,
I
but
did not.
yeah, that's what Kevin put out at the luncheon. So it's still booming here. I mean, but he's anticipating another bubble over the bubble in Florida. So I don't think we're going to slow down. He made a lot of
I don't think
sense.
that's going to happen.
He made a lot of sense. And I was like, yeah,
I think
So-
we've gone through our slow phase.
I do too. What, like January?
Yeah.
January.
Now it's on the rise.
Right? So we're still kicking. We're still here. Anthony, I hope you're still there. Did that answer your question? I know I wasn't necessarily a straightforward answer, but yes, you can write the offer. And worst case, they tell us is no. So anybody else have any questions? We're filling time, and I don't feel like I'm doing an effective job. 10 minutes, I'm out of stuff to say. Andrew's probably listening to this right now, shaking her head, going, "Oh Lord, who put him in charge?" But where are you on interest rates wise, ballpark? What are we doing right now?
Oh, interest rates.
I don't mean to put you on the,
Let's just say if you're purchasing conventional home and you have a credit score 700, you're probably looking around 7%.
which is still not bad. I mean, it's not the 3% we had for a while, but
No.
7% is not bad.
No. But if you find that home that you really want, purchase it now, refi later when rates come back down.
If they go down.
It's a cycle.
Right.
Rates will come back.
Yes. I mean, our first house, I think we were like 15 or 16%,
Exactly. Yeah.
and it was a while back, but it wasn't that long ago. But yeah, it was ridiculous.
What's the cliche saying? You marry the house and date the rate.
Yeah, we hear that a lot, but
If it's a house you really want,
yes,
buy it because
it's not going to get any cheaper either way. The house price or the rate.
correct.
I mean, if one goes down, the other's going up.
Find the house you want, buy it. Rates will come back down.
Oh.
It's a cycle.
Jeff, you better know. Who has the best deals, sellers, reselling, or developers? Or are they both doing amazing deals? Thanks, Allie. I appreciate that, girl. So right now, they're both doing amazing deals, believe it or not. Resale homes, the prices are a little higher than most people want to pay when you can buy a brand new house for what you buy a resale home for. Believe it or not, right now, especially with some of the dealers' incentives and offers they've got going right now. I got a red tag from Lennar the other day that they had up to $40,000 off a house that was on their red tag, and I was like, "That's just freaking amazing!"
Wow.
It's houses that are done. They've been a while,
Oh,
sitting
is
for a
it there?
minute. They're ready to move them.
Okay.
Thanks, Allie. I appreciate that. Yes, to a point. I'm pre-approved for 400 for a VA loan. I can get a realtor's name and number. Looking for a resale purchase. For VA loan, can I get? Absolutely. I mean, Anthony, you feel free to reach out to me. My contact information should be on here somewhere. If not, it's I think I can. Yeah, feel free to reach out to me. Obviously, I can't talk and type at the same time, you guys, but I would love to work with you, Anthony. I'm a vet also. I was U.S. Navy. There's that. Feel free to reach out to me. Whatever I can do to help you, I will. That's my email and my phone number. I'll be happy to help you out. Find the house that you want to buy and write the offer. I mean, again, what they'll tell us is no. They won't accept our offer, and we keep trying. I mean, it's that simple. Carrie, me put your information on here so everybody, in case anybody needs a.
Oh, sure.
I don't want nobody laughing at my glasses either.
352
Yes, ma'am.
875 1143.
Okay.
And it is Karen, Karen, Jangro, JAN. DRO.
Uh-huh. You get it right?
JANGRO. That's it.
That's just, what's your email address, Karen?
Oh, my email is kjangro
JANGRO at
uhm.com.
Thank you, Anthony, and thank you for your service too. Anybody else have any questions? Allie, did that help you out, girl? Did that answer your question? You sitting there laughing at me? You better not be. If you are, just come on in here and we'll talk about it. Andrea said she was going to be right here. You can tell I'm sweating this now.
You're doing great.
Lottie, you got anything to add? Oh, she's on the phone. Oh, that's David. Oh, that's my text. So look, let's just start at the very beginning. Let's back the truck all the way up.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say a brand new home buyer.
Okay.
Let's say a college graduate. Well, we're never going to go that far because they may have debt. So we don't want to add all that into the mix if we don't have to.
Okay.
First time home buyer wanting to buy a house. What's the first thing you tell them? They come to you and say, Karen, I really want a loan. I want to buy this house.
Okay. So let's sit down and talk about what is your plan and what is your budget that you're looking at. So we can start from there as far as, let's just say I want a monthly payment of $1,500 a month. So we're going to sit down and look at your income, what your debts are, and then we're going to back up that monthly payment that you're desiring
Okay.
based on your income and your debt to
Okay.
get you pre-qualified. And then also we're going to talk about your credit, those liabilities that you have. You've been paying them on time, what's your credit scores, to kind of walk you through your pre-qualification.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So you give me a number of this is what I can afford and I just go find a house.
Well, that's your pre-qualification up front
Okay.
based on the verbal that you've told me and what your plan is based on your payment. And then we're going to get your application because I'm going to get some documents from you, like a pay stub, to see what your income actually is. And then we're going to access your credit to make sure there's no hidden things in that credit that you're not aware of, maybe if you haven't accessed your credit in a while. So we're going to look at that,
Okay.
get an overall picture, and then we could get that pre-qualification letter out to you.
Okay. So then I go find a house and we just buy the house.
You go find a house, and then we're going to finish up that process, and then it'll go to underwriting, full underwriting after that. After the processor gets all the documents together, go to full underwriting, and we'll get that commitment out to you.
Okay.
We also have a pre-approval where we can get it through underwriting, and then all you have to do is find a house and get an appraisal done. We also have that product.
Okay. Look at that. That's nice. What was that?
Can you talk about loans for investors?
Oh, investment loans.
And how we offer property management?
Yeah, the investment loans.
Yes, we do investment loans.
Okay. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
So see, that's something I'm looking at.
So you're purchasing an existing home for investment to rent out. We do those on a conventional product, and we require your 25% down
Mhm.
for investment properties.
Okay.
And it's done on a conventional product.
Is there a huge, is there any different debt to income ratios or what have you for investment properties
Nope.
versus
we'll
a regular
go-
conventional loan?
Nope. We'll go up to 44.9% typically. It's under 45. And again, that's based on your credit score. Because depending on what the underwriter, desktop underwriting is looking at, that we put it through, and we can do that.
Okay.
Property management services offered by GER.
Well, you're kind of way off in left field on that one, girl.
That's what it is.
I know. So Yes, we do offer, I don't know if y'all can hear Lottie still or not, but we do offer property management here as well. Oh, there's Allie again.
For any investors that want to purchase, they can reach Kristen Baker.
Okay, for those who do not qualify, what do you recommend? Should they call a lender for help?
If they do not qualify, when we've pre-qualified them,
Or, yeah, if they're
when I'm
trying to get a
walking them through
loan,
the
right?
process and they don't qualify when I first speak to them, then yes, I'm going to coach them through, based on their credit report. Let's just say that they got a credit score of 560 and we need to get them up to 600 to be able to go FHA.
Okay,
So I'm going to take and try to coach them through what they need to do to get their scores up. So
okay,
yes, let's just say if their debt to income ratio is beyond guidelines, I'm going to try to coach them through, maybe if you pay this debt down, you could qualify based on this. So yes, we're going to take and work with them.
okay, awesome.
And then,
Look at there.
We're
She
gonna
said that's a
keep-
good lender. Look at there.
and we're going to keep in touch with them also because they're going to be in my prospect pipeline where I'm going to keep in touch with them, say 30 days out and say, have you done this? Are you working on
Right.
this? So maybe in 3 months, it may not even be 3 months, could be just 30 days. They're ready to come to you.
Okay, awesome. So here's a question for you that I was presented last night. And I don't know 100% if I answered it correctly. So this
Okay.
is one of those weird scenarios. So get ready. I've got a buyer looking to buy a home.
Mhm.
The seller is requiring $5,000 for escrow.
Okay, escrow deposit. Uh-huh.
So my buyer says, "Well, here's $1,500. Okay, here's another $1,500. So now we're at $3,000, but they don't have the other two for a full $5,000, and the
Okay.
seller won't budge. How can they get that other $2,000? Legally?" And I hate using the word legally because I don't want to sound like we do stuff off the record, but you know what I mean. How can How can I help them?
It can be a gift from a relative.
Okay,
That's basically because your seller's not paying that up front as
Right.
far as seller concessions,
right.
which we can, do seller concessions to help with closing costs, but the deposit up front would have to come from a relative.
Okay. So again,
Is that how you answered it?
yes, this is all live world. Well, I wasn't sure how that looked like because in the past I've heard that, oh no, you have to be able to prove it came from your bank account for the escrow deposit. Because somebody was like, well, a friend of mine said they'd give me cash to finish making. It's like, well, that's
No, there's
see,
no
that's
paper
what I'm
trail.
saying. It's that's
No
it, the paper trail.
Yes.
So a gift from a relative would still show the paper trail, and you can go, yeah, it was a gift. Okay.
Correct.
Uh,
Because I
they
have a customer right now that he's got money in the safe, and I'm like, no, can't use that.
and then the other side of that, they say, well, can we just put it on a credit card?
No.
And I was
That's
like,
unsecured funds.
I was like, yeah, I don't know about that.
Unsecured funds.
Well, my worry with that is this going to affect your income to debt ratio.
Oh, of course.
I was
Yes.
like, well, there might go your
Yes.
pre-approval
Yes.
because you just changed it. So I didn't know.
Now,
Again,
we can use secured funds.
Okay.
Let's just say they have a motorcycle
okay,
and they're selling the motorcycle to get those funds for deposit.
okay,
As long as we have show ownership of that motorcycle, we bill a sale of that motorcycle,
okay,
and that's where the funds came from.
okay. So if
That
he
could
sells,
be the other 2,000 right there.
okay, so if he sells his bike for $2,000, he can come in and go, here's 2,000 more, 2,000 more, but it's coming from his bank account, paper trail still.
Exactly.
So okay, yeah, that was real world. That was legit. A question I got last night, and I was like, wasn't my buyer. It was another agent that she was like, I'm really trying to help these folks. How can I help them? I'm like, I don't think you can. Like physically, you personally cannot. They've got to get money from
Correct.
a family member or find
Yes.
money somewhere else that they
Mhm.
can go, yes, this was my money, and here it is. The paper trail was
Correct.
the
Got to have
big,
the paper trail of where the funds came from.
yes. Apparently Andrea's here, so
Oh,
y'all just have to deal with me for another minute, and then she's going to come talk. So I'm just going to back out of the way at that point. Maybe. Oh, her car's here. She's probably sitting in the car right now laughing at me.
Like, I'm not going in there.
Right. So I appreciate you guys, and Allie, thanks for the questions, and Anthony, thank you for the questions. Sorry if I've just rambled a lot, but this is my first rodeo doing this. I didn't expect to be here by myself, or me and Karen by ourselves, as it were, for a while. So that's what I said. Yeah, you should go find her. Let me Does anybody else have any questions? I don't even know how many people's out there, if any. Everybody probably got tired of hearing me talk.
No questions?
I'd have seen her go in that door, like. Well, I know it didn't drive here by itself.
Nope. Well, I mean, it is a smart one.
Things to do in Ocala. Let's talk about that for a minute. You know anything exciting coming up this weekend other than Mother's Day? Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Oh, there is out at the Wick today. There is a festival type thing going on at the Wick today. I don't know
Okay.
exactly the name of it, but that's going on today. Oh, and of course, tomorrow night is Symphony Under the Stars.
Right.
For Mother's Day.
Yes. So look, I don't know. Most of y'all probably know as much about the WEC as we do, but you will see that most of the events out there are free. They may charge you for parking. Like for the
Yeah, they charge
Christmas
you for
lights, they
parking.
charge you for parking, I think.
Yeah.
But most of the events out there are free. Well, except for
See
the
what is-
food and wine, they're gonna charge you for that one. But you know, it's
let's
a
see.
great place. If you haven't been, you need to go experience it.
There. What's it called today? 'Cause, yeah, there is a festival going on. Not picking up service.
Go back to the market review, because remember, people keep on coming in and out.
I don't think there's nobody there. Slowly. Look, I will tell you, I took my wife to Cedar Key. I don't know if y'all been to Cedar Key or not, but it's a great little place to go. Have you been?
It's been years, and
It
I
probably
have
hasn't
heard
changed.
I've heard it's grown a lot.
I don't know how it grew.
I've heard it's better.
It was
as far
awesome.
as- There's more hotels and things there.
There was a bunch of condos and townhomes. There was the
Yes.
pier,
Yes.
and then a little, I will call it the downtown area that's right there on the beach, on the water, and then the beach. And that's, I mean, we just rode around and checked it out.
I can't just get this come up in here. So
It's like the black hole in here for signal.
Yeah.
If you're not on the Wi-Fi,
Mhm.
you're in trouble. But yeah, Cedar Key was great. We really enjoyed it. It's hour and a half from Ocala. If you haven't been, you can go check it out. We watched a guy catch a shark.
oh,
We just got to the pier and this guy hooks a shark. So we watched him fight it for about a half hour, and it
Mhm.
finally wrapped him around the pylons there into the pier as he was getting it close. He started swimming around the pylons, and
had
was
to
gone.
cut the line.
so yeah, it was exciting. Well, I was like, "Come on, dude, land that thing already!" But he was wore slap out by the time. I think he left.
Mhm.
Tristan and I left, and I think he left right after because, he was tired after. It was a good sized shark.
Fighting that shark.
It was probably a 4 or 5 foot shark. I mean, it's
It's
nice.
fun though.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun to fight those sharks.
So, oh man, but I'm afraid to click anything on my computer because I don't want to lose everybody, and I don't know what y'all have to see if I do start scrolling. But right now in Marion County, we're going to talk about the market a little bit more. There are currently 376 listings from $300,000 to $400,000 on the market active. 188 that are pending. So we're still in that hot section there. Also, looks like that's the hot price right now, from 250 to 400. There's 309 from 250 to 300, with 241 of them pending. So we're still kicking.
And we do finance manufactured homes as well.
Okay.
Manufactured homes and land.
Okay.
We'll do
Like a package again, if I'm buying a house and.
We do both. Yes,
Okay.
we do construction with
Okay.
manufactured homes, and we'll do if it's existing mobile home and land.
Okay, but it has to be the home and the land together.
Correct. We
Okay.
don't do just mobile homes by itself.
Right.
We'll do single wides as well as double wides
Okay.
on purchase, not on construction.
How old?
76.
Back to
Depends on
76.
as long as they meet code, which means having the tie downs.
Right.
We'll do that. VA, FHA, and conventional.
Okay. Now, what, again, this is for my knowledge, so I don't know if anybody else is out there thinking this or not. The VA side of the loan for a mobile home.
Uh-huh.
I know it's different versus a regular conventional. Way even different than what a regular conventional loan is for a house. Right?
It's-
What are the extra requirements on a VA inspection for a mobile home?
Just has to have a structural engineer report.
Okay.
FHA and VA both have to have that.
Okay.
Conventional, it depends if you've had an addition put on, then typically the underwriter will ask for a structural engineer. Or if it doesn't have the tie downs, then they'll ask for it.
Okay. Anything crazy with wells? Nothing. Okay.
No.
All that's normal.
Just have to, inspection on VA.
Okay. Okay. I asked that because I did have that one running for a while too. I had a VA client who was looking at mobile homes,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And nothing was passing because it wasn't sitting on the right foundation or something.
Oh, when the
So
structural
something
engineer
where,
is-
yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, "Oh, you're
So
killing
we
me."
have to have the HUD certification inside and the plate. If not, then we have to order the IBTS.
Okay. So what happened in 76 that makes it where that's the cutoff? That's just my own morbid curiosity, I think.
It's just the guidelines of Fannie and Freddie
Okay.
and your FHA.
Okay.
They just don't want to go back any further than that.
I'm surprised it's that far.
Yeah, some lenders don't go back that far.
Okay. What other loan? What's a good word for it?
Can we talk about
Types do you guys have?
for people with bad credit? You know, that's been all over the news or something.
Oh yeah. So what's up with people with bad credit getting a better rate? Explain.
Well, it's not. Yeah, the news has really, I think, been pushing it out of.
Out of context, and that's what I
Yes,
read also.
exactly.
I just threw it out there like that a while ago because
Yeah.
yeah, that's what everybody
I think
hears.
they're really pushing it out of context there as far as, let's just say, for example.
Oh, thank
She's
you
here.
so much
Oh,
for
you are
that.
welcome.
I was like, yeah, I told my daughter, I was like, oh man, I hate to throw Jeff into that. She goes, Jeff could have a conversation with a piece of lint. He'll be fine. I was like, really?
But this isn't my thing.
No, yeah. Hey, oh man, you got a whole bunch of conversations going on there. What?
There's not a whole lot. I mean,
We
there's,
got some, we got,
Anthony asked
Stuff.
about a VA offer for contingency.
Hi.
how are you?
Okay.
Good.
You know
So-
Karen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think we've
I figured.
met once before, right?
Not
Maybe
sure.
not. Okay.
Okay.
Hi. I was like, Jeff, you look different.
Yeah.
So, how many you got on here? Let's see. I don't even see.
I don't even know. I don't even know what you're looking for.
Right now, just about 7. So, yeah.
Oh,
and
I see.
Allie is one of them. Yeah. Top
Yeah, I see
quarter
that.
up there. Yeah. He's got you guys up on the big screen. It's very intimidating. It's just this massive TV screen up here. So, Whew. So I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just
Oh,
kind
no.
of sliding in. So.
Oh, there is no sliding. I was ready.
Yeah, I was like, I thought y'all were in the media room. So I was like going to come in here and kind of, run into the restroom and change it out of my 5K marathon clothes and into my polo. And yeah, no, my daughter and I came all sweaty and gross down the hallway and we're like, oh my God, the camera is literally pointing
Sure is.
down that way. I was like, no. And she goes, let me check. She goes, oh yeah, it's definitely pointing down. So yes, that's fun. Anyway, so sorry to have interrupted.
Oh,
and,
no.
yeah.
There was no error. We were talking about the new. So I asked her, I said, so why is it people with bad credit's getting a better rate?
Oh, yeah.
And she had just started on that when you
Yeah,
slid in.
please.
So,
Yes. Let's yeah.
look,
Okay.
I guess I'll.
Gee, thanks.
How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just say, for example, that somebody has a 740 credit score and they're putting 20% down. Okay. Their pricing adjustment, let's just say loan level pricing adjustment. That's what has been added by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, a higher loan level pricing adjustment. So let's just say it's 1.75
Okay.
is their pricing adjustment to get a certain rate, or that could be the points that they're paying at closing. And let's just say if it is a 680 credit score and they're putting 20% down, then the pricing adjustment may be 1.5 versus 1.75. And this
Mhm.
person has a 740 credit score versus a 680 credit score.
But wouldn't it be if they've got a better credit score and they've worked really hard and paid all the money in to make sure that everything was paid on time and everything, that should be a good thing, not a bad thing.
Correct. But if you take that 740 credit score and they're putting 5% down, then they're getting a better loan level pricing adjustment. Let's just say 1.5 versus 1.75. But that customer's paying PMI. That customer's paying PMI then,
Right.
private mortgage insurance,
Right.
until they get to an 80% loan to value. But their
Right.
loan level pricing adjustment is better, putting 5% down versus putting 20% down. And the one at 680's loan level pricing adjustment is actually more at putting the 5% down.
Okay. And
They're paying PMI, private mortgage insurance,
right.
until they get to an 80%,
Right.
which covers the lender if they default from that 95% to 80% loan to value if they default. So it's protection for the lender.
Right. Right. I understand the PMI.
But yes, there is some loan level pricing adjustments.
Yeah.
That's better for a 680 than it is for like if they had a 740 at that percentage
I
down.
mean, would it be worth it then to go ahead and maybe miss a couple of credit card payments and get down to the
For that,
680?
No.
no.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I
From
know it's a lot
1
easier to lose a few
1.75
points.
From 1.75 to 1.5 pricing adjustment, no.
It wouldn't be worth it.
Because you could get the same rate. Again, that's a loan level pricing adjustment. You may get the same rate in there at that loan level pricing adjustment, the 1.75 or the 1.5.
Mm-hmm. So it's just not going to be.
But you're still
Right.
paying more money with a worse credit score. That's what it boils down to. Right? I mean, if you just kind of brass
That's
tacks
the
it.
whole question: is which one is actually going to end up paying more? Because it sounds like it's more of a break even.
Yes, that's what when you look at, and I can send you a chart, the link with the
That would be
chart
cool. Yeah.
that shows that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you guys? I don't know if they'd be interested in getting it, but if you want the chart, just send over an email, and we'll make sure that you get that. For me personally, I'm kind of interested to see where on earth the math lines up in this. Not that I'm a huge math person, but for a second there, I was kind of hearing the Peanuts teacher going, "Oh, wow, wow." I was like, "What in the world?" But
Yeah.
I mean, I would kind of like to compare and see actually in a chart and maybe be able
And
to
their
figure it out.
overall reasoning for this is they're wanting that 680 credit score person to be able to get an approval that the 740 maybe was getting and the 680 wasn't getting. So they're wanting that 680 to be able to have, because maybe they're getting turned down versus not getting an approval. And they're wanting overall picture of customers to be able to eligible for approval more. And that's their mindset
Right.
with it.
Yeah.
But again, when I send you the chart, you'll see it's not that much of a difference in there.
Well, I mean, we're definitely in the business of selling people houses and getting them mortgages,
Mhm.
but not everybody is really in a place to purchase a home at that particular time.
Correct.
If you don't have that much of a down payment, if you don't have that great a credit, maybe you should go ahead and wait. Not everybody should be a homeowner at any specific time in their life.
When we were discussing that
I mean, that's
earlier,
kind of a
maybe-
safety thing.
Maybe it's not the time. Maybe
Right.
it could be 90 days, could be 6 months before you're
Right.
ready.
Right.
Yes.
And I honestly, at some points in my career, more than once, more than times than I can count, have said, yes, you could get approved for this loan, but this is not going to be a good thing for you at this time.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
having somebody say that, or having some kind of safeguard in place, is kind of a good thing. It's kind of a good thing. I mean, I think.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it goes both ways, I guess. I mean, I remember when I was a single mom and I was working so hard just to get all my bills paid. And, I go to apply for a loan and they're like, you're not there yet. Would it have been better for us and more stability if I had been able to get it? But then what happens when the water heater goes out, or what happens when the
Correct.
roof goes out?
Yes.
I mean, I was on a thread, shoestring budget, I guess. So, is it a good thing or a bad thing, to have that? Well, it'll approve more people that are on the borderline. Yeah, it might.
You need to have those reserves for a rainy day.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes.
The GOK fund, the God only knows what's going to happen, so you might as well put some money aside fund. Yeah, that's a thing. So, Allie says that now that's a good lender.
And we were talking about the coaching, I think. At that
Right.
time.
Yeah. She asked that question about, for those who don't qualify, do you recommend? We were talking about, they do the coaching walk. She helps you,
Really, that's wonderful. That's really
tells you need to
wonderful.
help your credit score by doing this and this and this. Come see
So
me.
where does that fall in, when they're more like 620, 650, or do you still do that at 680?
Well, based on 660 or even down to 600, they could qualify for maybe a loan of FHA, but they may not have the down payment. So we're talking to them about how they could obtain that down payment, maybe save here, or you could get it here. So we're kind of coaching through that. But if they're below 600, let's say we're down to 560, then maybe we need to do this with your credit to get you up to that 600 to be able to get that loan.
That's awesome. So there's pretty much anybody that walks in today, which looks like we got more people online than anything. Anybody that walks in today, if they do need a little help with their budgeting and stuff, we give them the Total Money Makeover book. So that's why we have a whole stack of them up there. Because sometimes it is just a matter of budgeting. It's surprising to me how little is taught in school. Like, they will teach you all sorts of stuff about parallelograms, which I still don't remember which one that one is, but they don't teach you really that much about how to buy a house, or they won't teach you how to balance your checkbook. They don't teach you why having a checking account is important and what the difference is between that and a savings account, or even more important, what the difference is between insurances. I mean, that's life insurance happens, it drives me crazy that they just don't, they don't teach them any
have
of that.
class for finance anymore that's set up that way.
There is, I think there's one state, I think it's Texas, that just recently passed a law stating that all high schools have to offer the class now for for home finance. So I don't know. I mean, I think that's actually a
Good.
good thing. Yeah, right? So we're going to have a whole bunch of Texans that are going to be very knowledgeable about finances, not too distant future. So, that's definitely something I think should be a little bit more taught in
Yes,
schools.
yes.
Economics in general.
What's that?
Economics in general.
Just a little bit.
Just something. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
Taxes even.
what gets me is
Be able to
before
set
they
up your
even
budget.
get out of high school, Lexi, my daughter, she's just turned 15, and she's got a whole bunch of universities sending mail to her saying, "Oh, you should go to this out-of-state college, that out-of-state college," and she has already received her first letter letting her know that she can get student loans. And
Mhm.
I'm like,
Mhm.
They
say them jokers quick.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. So not only do they not have the education to arm themselves, but they're getting the wrong information sent to them. Like, you can go anywhere you want. It's crazy. It's
Yes.
crazy. Don't
Mhm.
worry. You'll just be in debt up to your eyeballs for the rest of your
Yeah.
life. And I mean, it would be better for them to actually get $50,000 in credit card debt and default on that than it would a student loan, right? So I mean, the damage that can be done with those student loans is crazy, because I don't even think death could get you out of those
I don't
things.
think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So, but yeah, I definitely think some more education and coaching is
Oh yeah,
needed,
definitely.
very much needed. So. He's typing like way over off the camera so carefully. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, today's goal was about talking about how to purchase a home and what are the actual steps to home ownership. So, I mean, so we can actually ask the great debate. So we've got a realtor here, and we've got a lender here.
Uh-oh.
What comes first, talking to the realtor or talking to the lender?
Chicken.
No
Before
help.
the
Yes.
No help. What comes first? Because I know there's a lot of realtors that the first thing they're going to ask is, "Are you pre-qualified or you pre-approved?"
Yeah, pre-approved.
And that doesn't seem like a very fair question, because some people don't even know what on earth they're talking about. So I mean, they're like, "Oh,
Well, so at that point, they definitely need a pre-approval.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, they're like, I want to buy a house, and realtors sell houses, so I'm going to go to the realtor first." And they just,
I'm not going to tell you to take a hike.
That's their assumption. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm definitely not going to tell you to take a hike. I'll talk to you, and I'll help you, and we'll get some groundwork established. But before we get serious, we need to go talk to a lender and get you a pre-approval.
All right.
I mean, I can't make an offer for you as a buyer without a pre-approval.
Well, yeah.
Simply because it would look foolish on my end.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't like, even when I have a listing, I don't like having realtors contact me when they don't have a customer that is pre-approved.
Correct.
Because, the customer of mine has to go in and, set their life on hold, make sure the house is all cleaned up, the kids have all their toys cleaned up, make sure the yard looks all nice, make sure that somebody can come in and look at their house. They literally stop living in their home for an hour or two to let somebody come in and do a showing. And then, come to find out that person doesn't even know if they qualify to buy that house. That's not fair.
Right.
That's not fair.
Absolutely.
So everybody that goes to show any of my houses, it's right on the MLS. You got to send me a pre-approval first, because I don't
Yeah.
need a whole bunch of people kicking tires. I want them to actually be able to ready, willing, and able to purchase the home.
Absolutely.
So, there's a lot of realtors that feel the same way. So, you can go house shopping online without the pre-approval, but to actually go inside a house is not so much. So if they go to you first, you're going to just direct them over.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
same for you. You get to the pre-approval, and then you're like, okay, well, now you got to go shopping.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Are you working with a lender?
Yeah.
Are you working with a realtor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people don't know that there's a whole team that they end up with by the end.
There is
Um,
literally, it's a little village helping you get your house.
It could be
here's
like-
your key.
by the end, you got like 10, 12, 14 people involved in a house sale
Yes.
transaction, depending on what's going on. By the time you get done with the surveyors and the title company and the lenders and the underwriters and the, I mean, it's
Yep.
a lot.
Yes.
The appraiser and
Oh yeah.
yes,
Yeah. It's
everybody involved.
whew. And
The
then when
homeowners
you-
insurance. Don't forget your homeowners insurance.
Oh yeah. And then if you got in a, you got to get the HOA involved if you're in an HOA.
Yes.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
a whole slew of people that all have to work together to get even
Through their
one.
process.
Yeah, even one through. So, but either way, if they go to the lender first or they go to the realtor first, it doesn't really matter. You're going to send them back and forth anyway.
Correct, as they need to be.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do they actually have to come in and physically talk to you and
No.
meet with you?
No.
So, what do they have to do?
Well, we can discuss it online, just our pre-qualification up front, discussing that on the phone. And then I would give them the link for the website to make application. I can text or email it to them. They go online, complete all the information. And I'm going to access their credit, ask them for a pay stub to make sure what their information they're giving me about their income.
Such a nice way of saying, let's
People
see if
don't
they
lie on that, do
fit.
they?
To make sure that what they've put down is correct. And so then I'm going to access their credit and come back to them with any questions and then get that pre-approval back out. Typically running it through what we call desktop underwriting
Mhm.
and get that pre-approval back out to the realtor and discuss that with them.
How often is it that you see that what they've said is not necessarily what matches up?
Let's
Quite
see.
often. It's often. We'll say it nicely. She's just so sweet. She's just so smiling. She's like, yeah, maybe it just not
Did
quite.
you not
quite
tell me
there.
what was on the credit report for me?
Right? What
You
did you
have-
forget?
You have a few
Did
more
you-
liabilities than you
Did
discussed.
you happen to realize? No. Did you know that bill you didn't pay it didn't just disappear?
And we also ask them, at least I do you have any child support or alimony that you put out?
Oh, that's a
Mhm.
big one. That one's so confusing. Not only for the person receiving, but also for the person paying and what counts and what doesn't. That's
Yeah.
whew.
Because we have to also count that in their liabilities.
Mhm.
So
But when somebody is coming in that is receiving child support, does that count as income?
if they choose to use it, yes, we can count it as income.
Used to be they didn't. So it was like, I think there has to be a court order or something in place, right?
Yes, it has to be paid through the court, and then we can document
Gotcha. Cool.
the receipt.
So yeah, child support is definitely one of those that are a little more complicated,
Mhm.
especially when you're going through the home purchase process. So I think a lot of people, the reason they don't go to the lender first, they always have this vision in their head of going into this big, huge, scary bank. And there's this guy behind a desk with a 3-piece suit and a cigar in his hand. And he's just like, you're not worthy. You're just worth nothing. And get out of here. What are you joking? There's just this horrible feeling of rejection. And they're terrified to go into the bank. They're just absolutely, you don't even work in a bank. You're not even there.
No.
She's like, no.
Nothing like that.
It's
Nothing.
been a few years since I worked at a bank. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So it's just nothing like that.
no, it can be done over the phone. It can be done online. And therefore, I wouldn't see them till closing. And because we do try to go to our closings
Aw.
in case anything arises at that time.
Any big surprises. Like, hold on, wait a
Yeah.
minute.
Yes.
Like they pull up in a new car.
Yeah. No. Have you ever had that happen?
No, but
Oh
I
my
did have a
gosh.
client that she didn't have the money at closing because she went and bought furniture.
No.
Yeah.
So she had to go get a gift from her brother and
To close.
had to go back to underwriting, but we did close it, but it
Mm.
took a little longer to close.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine that closing. I just can't even, oh dear. What did you say?
We were just, the title company, the realtor, we were just sitting there in shock. We were like, what do you mean you don't have the funds? No, I bought furniture. And I'm like, okay.
But you needed that money to buy the house,
Yes.
and now you have furniture, but no, where are you going to put the furniture? But yeah, we have heard that quite often where somebody will purchase or even if they go looking at a vehicle and they get their credit run, that will nix it.
We have a trigger process that if they've gone out and applied for credit, we get notification. And then I'm going to pick up the phone and call and say, where did you apply for credit?
Oh no, I just went for a test drive.
No, they offered me 20% discount at TJ Maxx. That's why I opened the card.
You can't have a house now. Where are you going to put your clothes? Yeah, because basically
Do not
when you're-
open any new credit during the
No.
process.
No, you do not have credit. So normally with buyer, and it's been a while since I sit down with a buyer that's doing a loan, but normally sit down and say, okay, consider your assets frozen. I'm going to take your credit cards, put it in a bowl full of water, and put it in the freezer. And you're literally going to not touch those until about 2 days after you close. Like, it's not even going to be closing day. It's not even going to be day after. You can defrost it and thaw it out
Till the loan funds.
So once you have the keys, still don't do it. But yeah, I've literally scared my buyer so badly with this that I've actually had somebody call me about a week after closing because I forgot to tell her it's okay to use it now. And she's like, is it okay if I buy gas with my credit card? You're fine. But but it's true, because if you don't take it super seriously, you kind of forget there's so many different ways that credit sneaks in these days that you don't even realize you're getting your credit ran. I mean, it used to be you had to have Social Security number, you had to have, a form you filled out and signed. Not so much anymore.
Oh.
And do not quit your job
no.
until after the loan funds.
Take this job and shove it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another one. Although I did have, again, I terrify my buyer. And one, I had him so worried. He was scared. He thought he had to stay at the same job for the life of the loan. 30 years. He thought, I was like, no, this is not a prison sentence. It's a mortgage. You only have to keep the job for the time frame that you are actually applying for the actual house. But if you next year, the year after, want to change or transition your job, feel free to do so.
Yes.
Make sure the mortgage gets paid. But no, it's not a prison term. You do not have to put in 30 years at this particular and stay in that one position.
Because we do verify prior to
Oh,
closing
yeah.
that you are still employed at that job. So
Yeah.
stay there till after it funds.
What other things do people do? I'm trying to think. I don't know. I literally scare the bejesus out of them. Like, do not be that person. I know with us, we had it happen twice now. We had no closing because they forgot they were married.
Oh, yes. I just had that happen last week. In fact,
That's a big one in Florida.
When you are purchasing a home, and let's just say you're separated, but that means you are still married, the husband or wife has to sign on the mortgage if it's your primary residence.
Even if they're not going to be on the mortgage, they're never going to live in the house, and they're not going to be on the title in the state of Florida, they have to sign something acknowledging that you're doing it.
They have to sign the mortgage.
They don't on it, but they have
do
to
not
sign
sign the note,
Right.
which means they promise to pay, but they do have to sign the mortgage
Even if they're doing cash, though,
because it's
they have to sign
homestead
off.
rights.
Yeah.
In the state of Florida.
We have some weird real estate laws in Florida regarding homesteading. So yeah, but yeah, even if they're doing cash, that's a
And
no
the
go.
guy didn't show up at the closing, and I'm like, where is your husband? So we had to track him down to get him to sign.
Yeah. When you go to closing, bring your driver's license. Bring your
Yes.
driver's license. That did happen one time. And I had told them, and for some reason, with all the moving and the havoc, they had left it elsewhere. So we had to pause and wait for them to go get it, and then continue. So that one is
Have your ID.
reiterated a lot now.
Get your ID.
Yeah. There's not a whole heck of a lot that I think we haven't seen at this point, which is probably a good thing. A lot of people will go, oh, I'm just going to go get a glorified door opener. I'm going to go get, some lender off the internet that I'm never going to talk to through, well, I'm not going to say what company because we're not going to help them out in any way. But there are some big companies that don't have necessarily people that you actually deal with regularly. It's just you do this online and that's it. That's very different from what you do,
Yes.
which is you're a human person that sends them the link to apply and they can just process it.
And we
online.
follow them through the process.
Right.
If they start with me, they end with me.
Right. Very
Um,
different.
Some companies that they apply online, they never get the same loan officer when they call.
No.
Yeah.
Well, they probably won't even have the same loan because they sell it the second it closes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We do not. We service our loans. We do not sell our loans.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So I know y'all are probably going like the what, the who, but it's important. It's really, really, really important. I don't know what other industry does what they're doing. I really can't think of what else it would be like. I really can't. It would be like if you went to go over to a Toyota dealership and you bought a Toyota and then the dealership no longer sold Toyota like the next day. You have no Toyota dealership anymore. It's gone. There is no warranty. There's no nothing. It's gone because they've sold it to somebody else somewhere else. And now you have to pay the loan with that person. And it's like, but I did everything with you. It does not matter. They have sold that off. It is gone. So it's just, there's nobody to go back to like do anything. And unfortunately, it's all through the process too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you're never going to talk to the same person. You call up, oh yeah, my person is Miguel. Man, they don't know Miguel. They don't care who Miguel was.
No, you don't get the same person.
You may or may not have been talking to a robot, literally a bot. So yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. We really, really don't like it when they'll come in with that piece of paper and they're like, here, I've got a pre-qualification. I'm like, that is not worth the paper it's written on. There has been absolutely nothing done with that piece of paper from that company because it's just not worth it. It might as well be written on a napkin. It's not worth it. But so actually finding somebody local, I like local because then I can come find you. Like if she stops answering her phone, I'm like, you better be in the hospital because we need to talk. Where is this going? What is going on at this point? We need to actually have this conversation and stuff. So it's really, really, really important. Please, whether you work with us or somebody else or wherever you're at, make sure that you are dealing with a person that is local. And not your cousins, sisters, brothers, uncles, whatever, that just got their license 2 weeks ago and you want to help them out. Do you really want to be the guinea pig on their first transaction? This is your largest asset to your name. This is not the one you guinea pig, okay? The vacant lot that is sitting over there that's worth $6,000, that's what you guinea pig. You don't do it on the $300,000 house. Don't do it. Please don't do it because they're going to be learning the process right along with you. And if you don't know the process, you guys are both kind of hosed. So, but I'm sure you've worked through lots of newbies.
Yes.
Yes. There's a distinct difference, right? In the process.
Yes, with your newbies, you need to be more detailed and hold their hand through the process, because
They don't know the
you're
process.
you're explaining, and you may use a acronym, like I said, PMI. They're like, I'm new at this. What does that mean? So yes, you need to be more detailed and walk their hand through the process, and make sure you communicate and stay in touch with them.
Yeah.
It's,
Constant. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we've all learned, we've all been there at one point. So I don't know if that's you or somebody else, but oh, okay. So, I don't know if I'm sure everybody has had new people at certain points in their careers. But that might not be what you want to do with your largest asset. So just maybe, find somebody with some experience, and you should be golden. I don't know. Somebody just passed me like a stack of paper. I'm like, what in the?
And that's it on this side.
Okay, good. We're gonna get to see lots of people come through. I am not showing. Yeah.
Another one of those real world questions.
Oh,
Like a
me?
shot at you, but yes. And this is just for everybody else, because I already know the answer to this.
Okay.
So let's say I have a buyer sitting here, not pre-approved yet. How quick can you get me a pre-approved? They walk in the door today. They just showed up in Ocala. We want to see some houses. Are you pre-approved?
That's a good
No.
question.
Your desktop pre-approval.
Okay. I can take information over the phone they've got their income information, their employment, what their liabilities are, and just kind of do a debt to income ratio with them right there. Okay. And then I'm going to send them the link so they can complete that.
Okay.
And then while they're completing that, though, I'm going to let you know, based on verbal, this is what I've come up with. But I'm going to get their information to make sure that credit score is there.
Right.
All the liabilities they told me is there. And hopefully they can send me a pay stub so I can make sure that income's been calculated.
Okay. So in theory, we can be shopping in 30 minutes. I'm not putting you on the spot.
Depends on how
you are.
quickly.
No, I'm really not. I'm just trying to,
Depends on how quickly they get that application completed, and you want to use the pre-qual.
Right.
If they see a house and they want to make an offer, and you want to risk and use that pre-qual, then yes, that can be done in less than 30 minutes. But if they complete that application, I run the credit, I run it through, you're probably talking an hour or so, depending on how quickly they do.
Oh my God, a whole hour.
An hour, I know, right?
It
So
takes that
depending
long
on how
for us.
quickly that they
No, absolutely.
they get it done.
Yeah. And I asked that because I did have that happens, believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's me people are coming here, and those are the folks I like. Are you relocating people? Come see me. But but that's and it has happened.
Yes.
And I sit them down with my laptop. I'm like, here, fill this out. You send the link.
Mhm.
Merry Christmas.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it does take about half an hour to 45 minutes just to get to the first house.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
you get the pre-qual while you're sitting there. By the time you hit the first house, you probably got the pre-approval.
That verbal one will roll.
Yeah.
And then you call me on the way and go, oh, no.
And
Okay, never mind.
also, with our link that we have, we can add the realtor on there so you can see the process
Gotcha.
through the whole transaction.
Not
Gotcha.
your credit information.
No.
Right.
No.
Just to clarify.
Just the
No.
pre-approval letter, as it were.
Yes.
So some people are like, oh my God, everybody's going to know my business.
No,
I don't
wanna
That's
know
not
your
how it
business.
works. That's not how it works.
No,
So,
that's
yeah.
confidential. We do
Yes.
not share that information.
Yeah, we have rental applications that we do pretty much regularly, almost on the daily. But before we were allowed to run even a single rental application through this third party, they had to do a full inspection of our entire office. And we had to show, alarm. We had to show that we have locks on doors, on inner doors, all sorts of crazy stuff. So, we do not even share their information with them. It's like, that is just, nope. It is so protected. It's probably not right at HIPAA, but it's pretty darn close. It's really protected.
Compliance keeps us in line.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. So no, your information stays your information. We don't need to know or care. We don't really care what you do. It's really It's just really not. It's more, where are you at now in the process, and how can we get you to the next step?
Mhm.
That's honestly more so what,
Yeah.
what you
Absolutely.
did 10 years ago or what you did 5 years ago. It really doesn't matter.
Mm.
Really doesn't matter. So it's more moving forward. So, yeah. All right. So once you have the pre-approval,
Mhm.
which is again different than a pre-qualification, it's a little more in depth, got a little more to it. You got the pre-approval. Jeff, you got the pre-approval. You're all set. You're going to go run around all over creation.
Absolutely. That's the fun part.
He really loves running all over creation. Oh my God. So run all over creation. Look at all the different houses that might work for him. Generally, we can narrow down areas, because Marion County is massive.
Mhm.
It is just ridiculous. So, kind of lower it to like one quadrant. I know you do Citrus County too.
Correct.
So, yeah, because Marion County wasn't big enough for you.
No.
I don't know, but
I need
yeah.
a little more room.
So he goes over to Citrus County as well. Goes all over into Citrus Springs, all sorts of stuff, whatever's going to work best
Mhm.
for them. And you find a house or two. Do you normally say like more than one house, like pick your favorite and pick a second option just in case? Or do you like, this is it, this is your house?
Like you just rolled in here moving to Ocala. Oh
Yeah.
no. Well, I'll take you to 10. I don't care.
Oh my God. They'd all start to blend.
Well, no,
after a while.
because I keep my own records as we walk through the house.
Okay.
I pay attention to you and your significant other or whatever that is as we're going through the house and get your likes and dislikes. And then I may call one or two out of that list that
They're like,
were something that
absolutely
you
no
didn't
go.
like in that house.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Well-
like, for example, like I've never smoked. So if I go into a house that has a lot of cigarette smoke, that's a no-go for me. 'Cause
Right.
It just would never
Absolutely.
work. It
Absolutely.
would never work
Well,
for
the
me.
downside of that is a lot of times you don't know till you're there.
Oh yeah,
on
that's
that.
something.
Yeah. I've seen some real pretty house and you walk in, you're like, whoo, they
saw-
could have smoked outside.
I saw a house yesterday, and I was like, you might have saw it, but it was $52,000, and it was about 1,200 square feet, and I'm like, $52,000, and it looked so nice in the pictures. So I'm like, what in the what? And I'm looking at it, and then I came across one picture, and there is the train that looks like a neighbor. Like it was
Mhm.
right behind, and there's the graffiti on the train and everything. So the backyard was literally a train,
Mhm.
like train tracks
Yes.
with active trains going through. But a lot of times you're not going to know that. They just happen to have gotten that in the picture. Even if it's an ugly house. You don't, well, if it's an ugly house, you'll know. But if it smells or there's a train in the backyard, sometimes you just don't even know. How in the world would you have smells on pictures?
Yeah, it's
Normally.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
hard, but the ugly house, yes. I mean, if that's what you're wanting,
We have a lot of people that like ugly houses.
absolutely, because you can make an ugly house pretty most of the time.
I enjoy
You
it.
have to vision it
Absolutely.
the way you want it to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I tell everybody. Flooring, paint, all that's cosmetic. It can all
Yeah.
be changed real easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
The house is what.
Yeah.
And location
Yes.
is what you're buying.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's legit.
Not having a train in the backyard every day, multiple times a day, would probably be a great idea. I can't even imagine how loud that must be at night. I mean, maybe you're rocking and rolling like you're on the train, but
But no, I will call some houses as we rolling around and you tell me, I see what you do or don't like. I'll call a house or two out of that list. But it's not been unheard of for me to do 4 days with a client.
4 days, like 10 houses a day kind of
At
days.
least 10 a day, yes.
40 houses.
8 to 10 hours a day, yes.
That is, y'all, if you need to look at 40 houses, do not call me, okay?
We like our ugly house.
No. Oh my God. Call Jeff.
Say they
Okay.
like ugly house.
Yeah, he says, we like our ugly house, Jeff. Who is that? This is YD. I don't know who that is, but they know you. But I mean, 40 houses, I normally go out and I'm like, we're going to look at 3. You go pick one of these 3. Like, because this is everything you said on. We're going to go pick the nicest one out of the 3. And then we're going to use the second one as backup. Just walk through.
Look, it's who that is. That's Miss Yomara D'Amico. They are the front of the house that they like. We call it the ugly front house because it's not the most attractive house from the street.
I see.
It took me a second to realize who that was, Yomara.
Oh, okay.
But, yes.
You got
Well, Shane, it's Shane. All right, Shane, I see you. But yeah, and that was how we remembered it was that house was the ugly front house. The
Yeah.
layout is gorgeous. The front of it is not the most attractive from the street. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just the way the house is built.
What makes an ugly house?
Yeah, look,
Right?
it's a pretty house, Shane. It really is. But the front is odd. You kind of look like you're walking into a cave to go to the front door.
Yeah,
So
I
I mean,
do.
that's the best way to put it. And it's different,
Yeah.
but it's a pretty home. It's a gorgeous home.
Yeah. See, for me, it's always the ones that are completely flat
Yeah.
and have like, I'm like, add some shrubs or something, like add some shutters, add something to
Give
you
it a little
know,
curb appeal.
not
Yeah.
quite a cave, but at least something to kind of, because if it's just flat with just it looks a little too stark for
Right.
me, and it looks, I like
And
to add
The
some
funny
color.
part is that house, one of the ones we looked at, looks like they tried to break it up a little bit and they stuck this little tree. So dead in front of the front door as you walk out, there was a tree. So it's like, okay, that didn't help a whole lot, but
You gotta be careful. I said shrubs, okay? You gotta be careful of those trees because those things get big.
yeah,
Trees grow.
even
So,
an
yeah,
ugly
that-
front house, Shane. Even an ugly front house, bro.
Yeah.
You're good.
Shane, did he show you 40 houses? How many did he show you?
I don't think we quite hit 40.
He's got to do the math. Like, how many days was it?
I think we
40
spent 2 days running around with Shane and your wife.
So probably more like 20.
It was, it probably might not have been 20. It was,
It was
'cause
quite
they
a
knew
few.
ballpark what they wanted.
Yeah.
So it was fine. And those couple of specific ones
Yeah.
you
so,
know.
And the location.
and the location. The location was the easy one because that builder's only building. And
Oh, okay.
yeah.
so, yeah, because it's a brand new construction home.
Well, they did that with a brand new construction.
An
home?
ugly house?
I know. I was like, what? How? Why?
Yes.
Okay.
Huh.
Now I'm going to have to look it up
Look,
later.
it's odd. It's an odd
After you found the right house after two.
two.
And how many did you show them though? Like a good, at least 10.
Well, let's say we looked at a couple of houses, right, Shane, and then this one popped, and then we looked at I think 6 of this
Just to
same
make sure.
house
Oh,
on different locations.
oh, okay.
Because we had to find it again. They have an extended close,
Okay.
so because they're closing on their house, and then they're
Okay.
closing on this house, so
Oh,
they're
yeah.
selling their house and then closing.
So
on
you
this
have
house.
to have some backups.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we found several, and we made a couple offers on some. We had to let them go because
Weren't
things
quite
happened
right
with the
there.
original contract.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's okay.
Yeah.
We got the one. Believe it or not, it was pending,
Mm.
and then it came back around, and that's the one that we're in now that they love
Woohoo!
the most. So yeah,
Hey, somebody else is, not, hey, they didn't get it, but that means that you did. So that works. After 2, that's awesome. So yeah, I've had contracts where it was actually triple contingent.
Mhm.
So a contingency like that, it just means that you are going to purchase your house by selling your other house. But if this house that you have currently doesn't sell, you cannot purchase this one. So it's a contingency you put on the contract.
Yeah.
So that you're not on the hook for buying a house that you no longer can. The problem is this house that contract has to go through. And sometimes it doesn't, through no fault of your own or your house or whatever, just sometimes stuff happens. But I've actually had it where this one was also contingent on another house. And it was we actually got them all done, but it was a hair-raising experience. One, I would not do that again, but at the time, this was years ago, I was very happy to even sell a house at the time. So I don't think that would fly in today's market.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was triple contingent. So kind of crazy. There's some crazy stuff that you see out there, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you do a contingency like that, it's fairly common, I think, at this point.
it
to
is,
do
but it's again,
a single.
it's like I was
contingency.
talking to Anthony earlier. He's mentioned writing a contingency out front of VA loan. And yes, you can do it as long as it's not too long of a contingency for your clothes
Right.
or whatever that is.
Yeah.
So I am dealing with another one like that also. That's what I explained to him earlier.
Yeah.
So
So, I mean, it does happen, but normally you like to make sure it's at least this one is past the inspection period.
Point of no return.
Yeah, that's
Almost.
almost.
I hate
Yeah.
saying it like that because there's always that, you know.
Yeah, you got to get past the appraisal too. But normally, once you're past the inspection period, you've already negotiated any repairs. You're pretty close.
Pretty sad.
Yeah. So it goes from 50-50 shot to, much more like 80-20. So yeah, kind of crazy. All right. So you go out, you have a wonderful time shopping with Jeff, who is the best person to go shopping with. I mean, just loads of fun. You'll spend lots of time in a car and it's just a blast. I've gone along with him. It's great. We went to one, we almost got shot. That was oops.
Hold up, what? It's always an adventure.
It is. It's always an adventure. Yeah. I almost took him into the wrong house. To be fair, it was kitty corner to the house we were supposed to be in, and they had the exact same address. And there was a lockbox on the door.
You know how there's Road Avenue here and Street Road or whatever. Well, there was two houses that were, and I'm picking random streets. So it was like 53rd Street Road and 53rd Avenue Terrace or whatever. But the street numbers were literally right there.
It was like,
and they were like a stone's throw from each other. And the house we were trying to get in had a lockbox on the front door. But it wasn't for
But they
sale.
were both like 11,800 or something like that.
Why was there a lockbox?
I don't know.
That's odd.
But luckily, we couldn't get through the security door to get to the lockbox. It was like an exterior screen door, security door that was locked.
So I'm
With the lockbox hanging, we're calling the agent. She's calling the agent going, hey, I need to get
why
in this
did you
thing."
lock the screen door? Carrot, can you take a break real quick and help them?
Look at there.
She's like,
Wow.
Yes, I can.
so the agent's like sitting here going, I need help. Can I borrow her? Like, what?
So look, I'll slide
Y'all
in
just
here
lost-
for a minute.
Y'all just lost your mortgage person. She got yanked
What
into
it's all
another
about, right
meeting.
there.
That's hilarious. So yeah, so we went shopping
Yes, we
together,
did.
and yeah, it was an adventure. Every time I go out shopping with Jeff, it's an adventure. It's fun. It was a lot of fun. And he didn't even hold it against me that, I pulled up straight up the wrong address or something. I don't know
We
what
just
that
riding
was.
around trying to get in somebody's random house.
And we went like twice.
Twice we did
I'm
too.
walking
We
around
stopped
the
and ate lunch and went back.
It was so bad. So yeah, always an adventure, but yeah, no, it is a lot of fun. You go shopping for the house, you find the house. Jeff writes up a really cool contract, and you go ahead and go through the contract with them. Normally the first time, awesome if they accept your offer of the house. For the love of everything, please do not go in and put a contract or an offer together on a house that is at market price. It's at market price, and you're like, I'm going to get a deal. I'm going to offer them $30,000 less than what that house is worth right now, just to see if I can get it.
Probably not gonna fly.
It ain't gonna fly. Because the house prices already came down.
Yes.
I had somebody contact me yesterday. He bought a house a year ago, brand new construction, never moved into it, and he bought it for $289,000. He's in a neighborhood that has a whole bunch of brand new construction, and he wants to sell it for over $300,000. He's done absolutely nothing to it. There are other houses being sold by the same builder in the same neighborhood at the same price of $289,000.
The housing market went up, Andrea.
I'm thinking that's not going to really work. So it does work for the buyers and the sellers same way. Like you will get equity in the house because you are paying off the mortgage, and the housing market will eventually go up. Once the builder stops building in there, yeah, absolutely. But that hasn't happened yet. There's now, I think there was like 6 or 7 of the exact same house.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's not going to work. You can sell it for the same price you bought it for, but you're not going to be able to sell it for more than you bought it, like $10,000 and $20,000 more than what you bought it for. At this point, wait long enough, and maybe,
A couple of years, maybe.
yeah, rent it out for a few years, get some income off of that, and then go from there. But But yeah, it was kind of interesting. So, so it works both ways. You know, the seller's not going to, you know, gouge you because that's not market, and you're not going to be able to get like the steal of the deal of the day because that's not market. So just make a reasonable offer. Is it possible to get a really amazing real estate deal? Yeah, you can. But I think the number one thing with that is patience. It's all about timing.
Yes.
I think that's the main thing. Um, you literally have to wait sometimes 6 months to a year before that deal comes up. So if you're waiting for your own house, that's why investors normally get those kind of deals, is because they don't have to live in it.
Mm-hmm.
They're just waiting for that deal.
You're waiting to spend money.
So yeah. So they're like, you know, and they don't care if there's going to be, you know, a roof that needs to be put on, an AC that needs to be put in, new flooring. They don't care because that's part of the deal. It won't get financed because it can't get financed. So it's a very, very different situation. Yes, you can get those kind of deals, but it's normally cash. It's normally not able to get financing on it, or it's going to be a very, very complicated financing. And it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of research. It takes work. They work to get those deals. Because I think both of us work with investors, and
Yeah.
we're always on the hunt for them, always looking for those deals for them. But it's very, very different. Very different. So yes, you can get those deals, but you're probably going to pay market price, truthfully. So if you're like, okay, I'm going to go in and get this house that's priced right for the market, but I'm going to offer them tens of thousands of dollars less, you're just going to piss them off. That's what that's going to We'll write the offer. Okay. I mean, I always write the offer. I'm like, yeah, it's 10 minutes for my time. I don't care. I'll go ahead and write the offer. They're going to say no. They're going to say no. And they may not look at another offer from you because you done pissed them off, but we'll write the offer. I have no problem with that. I sometimes will do it just so the buyers can understand what happens, with the market. You know, we see it, we can talk till we're blue in the face. Doesn't matter. They have to learn by doing. So write the offer and let them learn. Like, okay, that was fun. Can we try again now?
It's ultimately what they want. So you know what? I'll write it all day long.
Absolutely. Okay. That was an interesting 10 minutes out of my life. Let's move on now. So we liked house number 2, right? So
well,
we do that.
but right now it also kind of opens a negotiation table, though.
It does. Yeah.
And with where we are now, at least that's what I've experienced the last 3 or 4 offers I've written.
Yeah.
They've come back and gone, okay, we won't do that, but we'll do this. And I'm like, whoa.
Well, all righty.
Now we're talking.
True. That's
so,
true.
you know,
I think probably since maybe October of last year.
Give or take. Yeah. About past 6 months.
October of last year. They are a lot more open to negotiation. So,
and even if it's a seller credit or
Yeah.
seller concession, as it were, it's there's more negotiation room on the table again versus when we were just here's 30,000 over the ask price.
Oh my
I
goodness.
mean, that was ridiculous.
That was horrible. Everybody's like, oh, you realtors enjoyed that so much. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. It was a freaking nightmare. One buyer, I wrote probably 9 offers on 9 different houses, and way over asking. They never got any of them.
Still didn't get one.
They finally just gave up. So yeah, it was just. Ooh.
That's one of those where you have to hit it just right and hope you've got the relationship with somebody in the pipeline there to go, yes, I'll sell this one to you.
I was calling in every favor I didn't have. Oh my God, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And all of us were working crazy amounts of hours just trying to keep up with the mayhem. So no, we did not have fun with that at all. That was not fun. This is a much more normal market. This is what I would consider normal.
This one we've been looking forward to coming back around for a while now. This is the way we really do things, you know.
This is normal. It's great.
I don't like being crazy.
No, it's where, it's a fair deal for the buyers, fair deal for the sellers. It's great. Everybody's happy. So definitely loving that. And I love how they are getting some deals on the new construction.
Mm-hmm. We talked about that earlier too. I saw the red tag from, I think it was Leonardo today at 40. They were offering 40 off on some of their houses. So, yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. So some of those new construction homes, especially the larger companies, they've got deeper pockets. So, if you, I'll say if you're going to write a low ball offer, doing that with a builder, you're not going to piss them off because for them it's just numbers. They're either yes or no. It's not
Right.
an emotional attachment to a house like it is with a seller that has lived and raised their children in that house, that had hopes and dreams in that house. It's very emotional for them. So when you come in and you're like, your house isn't worth that, that's painful to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's painful.
They'll just
So
about fight you sometimes.
they
you know?
they will. But you go into a larger builder and they're just like, no. But they're like, but we will take this and we could go ahead and throw in the fridge, and
it's
like,
all about
okay.
numbers for them. Like for
Yeah.
real. It's like you
Yeah.
said, it's all about the number.
Yeah,
Does it work?
Yeah, it's not. And honestly, sometimes it's even timing with that because they may have a house that was supposed to be closing and for some reason the deal didn't go through. And now they've got to sit in house on inventory and it skewed all of their numbers for end of quarter sales or something. And all of a sudden you get a house for, 50,000 less than anybody else. So yeah, that you can stumble upon that. But those are kind of fluky. Don't expect it every time. But you can stumble on a pretty good deal with those.
If you do stumble, you got to act right now. There's
Yeah.
no thought about
Yeah,
it. You have to go.
no, because it's a clearance sale.
And there's only one.
And there's only one, and everybody knows about it, and they're
Right.
all like, "Get the paperwork in." It's like first one, it's first come, first serve with that.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
It's like people fighting over the Cabbage Patch Kids back in the 80s.
Oh my God.
There's that one Cabbage Patch Kid that everybody wants, and that's the one that you're trying to fight for. So just remember that.
Yeah, my grandma took me to the Cabbage Patch, the General Hospital thing.
Right?
Yeah, and the not General Hospital, but the Cabbage Patch
Yeah,
Hospital.
the patch.
Oh my goodness. It's kind of creepy. The place now, looking at it as an adult with all the baby doll heads and stuff in the cabbages, it's kind of freaky. But yeah, it was Cabbage Patch back in the day was like kind of insane. So yeah, if that house is the Cabbage Patch Kids house.
Sorry, I had to throw that analogy out there.
It is. No, it really is. So if that's what it is, just make sure that you jump on that one because there's only one.
Yeah. Don't think on it too long because it'll be gone. Somebody else will see it and snatch it.
All right. So, I mean, it's going to be a completely different experience if you are getting new construction. For everybody that's like, what in the world? If you're buying a house that has been lived in and loved on and has, life happens, has had this stuff, it's going to be very different from brand new construction. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Very, very, very different procedures and totally different thing. I would still recommend getting a home inspection.
Oh, yes,
either way,
definitely.
Whether it's new construction or not, just having that peace of mind is different. But even the home inspection is different. If it's brand new construction, especially with one of the larger ones, they are not allowed to get up on the roof and they're not allowed to crawl around in the insulation up there. Yeah. So, I mean, they can go up there and look around and take pictures, but they can't go crawling around because of liabilities and stuff. Whereas if it's a resale, as we call it, home that's been loved on, they're going to go under it, over it, inside of it. It's just, I don't know. It's like 3,000 degrees up in that attic, but they're going to crawl all through that insulation. Will too. So yeah. So just a little bit different on some stuff is that. So I don't know. What do you prefer? Selling new construction or resale?
Prefer? There's not any really.
No difference?
No difference. We try not to order an appraisal though until that home inspection is done because we don't want to spend the customer's money ordering that appraisal. Inspection comes back. Didn't pass. We're not going to take it. And then we've spent that money.
Yeah. And they don't get it back. The appraisal is non-refundable, just so you know. Even if they don't ever do the appraisal.
And
order. Yeah. So, there are steps to home ownership. If you guys want to send me an email at GER.ExpectMore@gmail.com or send it straight over to Jeff.
My email's in the chat.
Oh, yay. Okay. Yeah, look at that. All right. So if you send an email over to Jeff, he will get you the steps, the actual book that I've written on everything that you need to do and everybody you need to talk to about buying a house. Your whole team is in there, your whole team. So if you go in there, it'll have all the steps. Take them one at a time in order, okay? Because like she was just saying, if you go and do the home inspection, but you've already paid for the appraisal ahead of time, and then the house has some major issue, you've now lost the money for the appraisal. And that's a lot of money. What are they going for now?
Oh, depending on property, anywhere from 550, 650.
Yeah, that's to me,
Yes.
that's a lot of money.
Yes.
There's some other things that I would like to do with $500-600 than to kiss it goodbye. So, again, just do it in order. You have to do it in order. And we're going to walk through the whole process with you. We'll hold your hand through the whole process, but you have to do it in order. So you're like, okay, there's all this stuff. I got to do it all now. Have you ever heard those? They're like, whew, I love it because they're always on it. They are so on it. But at the same time, you got to kind of like slow their roll. Like, you cannot order the appraisal yet. We've not done the homes, but my lender needs the appraisal. Yes, they do, but they'll tell you the same freaking thing.
Look, I don't know if Shane's still here or not, but here's a question for you. Have you ever had a insurance company ask for the appraisal?
Yeah.
Prior to that appraisal being done by the lender?
No.
No,
No.
no, no. I asked
I was
I've
kind
had
of
the
like, what?
homeowners insurance company ask for.
Absolutely. But they're
The
like pushing it,
appraisal.
going, hey, we need it like right now. I was like, look, it's not time for the appraisal yet. Hold on a minute. Yeah.
You gotta slow your roll there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, and I have worked with some lenders that will push for the appraisal right away too. So I'm glad you're not one of those that does that. But
Don't do
sometimes
that.
I don't have a choice as to who the appraiser
Right.
or who the lender is, because they've already come from another state and they've already gotten somebody they've used for years and years. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. I don't know them, but let's do this. It's always so fun. So fun. Sometimes they'll be from another state. They've never set foot in Florida, but they have a license for Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have to deal with it. And they're like, yeah, I already paid for the appraisal. And it's like day 3. I'm like, you barely even have a house contract. What are you doing? So yeah, no, you just have to do it in order.
Yeah.
Exactly
Well, it was just
as it is.
Shane's, apparently their insurance guy that they were
And
riding
start
with.
shopping for that insurance.
Well, that he had
right away.
one locked in and they started pushing for the appraisal. I'm like, I've never had one ask trying to push the appraisal to get done this far ahead. You're
No.
okay for another week or
Yeah.
so. They'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. That's okay. Just put that person on snooze in your phone for about a week.
There you go, Shane.
About a
Put them on snooze.
Yeah. That's the thing, right?
Probably. I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, you want to wait until maybe a week to I normally do the insurance about a week before closing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
We ask that they start shopping as soon as we get them in through processing, and to start shopping, at least get a quote.
Oh yeah. Quotes,
and
yes, but
get a
lock
quote.
down.
No,
Yeah.
don't lock it down, but
Yeah.
get a quote of somebody that they're going to be going with,
Yeah.
because they may think that's the better quote and it may not be.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
start looking for it.
And different ones have different prices, but they also have different things that they are offering, different deductibles, different things that they cover.
Bundles.
Oh yeah. Because you can bundle it with your car insurance and stuff. And if flood insurance isn't that expensive, I normally actually recommend that they do get flood insurance. Again, if it's not that expensive, even if your house isn't in a flood zone. So just look into it. It's stuff to look into. Ask the questions at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's everybody's like, why would you do? I have flood insurance on my house. We are not in a flood zone. I have been through multiple hurricanes, no flooding whatsoever. But sometimes water does not come from the outside.
Mhm.
Sometimes it comes from the inside. And I've seen way too much. Way too much. So for me personally, because, with property management,
Absolutely.
I've seen some stuff. So for me, it helps me sleep at night. It's just to be overly covered with insurance. But that's me. That's not what everybody else has to do. I do recommend you look into it. and look into all
At
your
least see.
options.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes insurance is cheap.
Yeah.
You
Some
know.
people don't realize that their dogs may or may not be covered.
Mhm.
That's something to check into, because if your dog bites somebody on your property, you might want to make sure you got insurance for that. So, I mean, these are just some of the things you really need to check into. So really, really dig deep into that. But actually locking it down a week before should be sufficient. And you'll have your insurance or your inspection done before then. So if you have any questions through the process, though, you have a team of people,
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of all had to go into those roles, really, because technically, legally, your license is to sell a house, to show a house.
Mhm.
But because there's not that education out there, you switch. You
Mhm.
have to your role is not to be a financial coach in any way. You're supposed to be selling a loan, right?
Yes. And
But
then when they have legal questions, I'm not an attorney.
yeah, no.
Right? No, I'm not.
None of us are helping you
Yes.
with that.
Nor am I a financial advisor in any shape, form, or fashion.
No, but because some people have questions that are, in regards to, well, how do I do this process? Do you know a home inspector? Do they need to be helped through this process.
Yes.
We wear those hats
Absolutely.
because that's otherwise it's because neither one of y'all get paid unless it gets to closing.
That's correct.
So it is in their best interest.
And if I don't
To
have the
get you to
question,
closing.
I'll find it.
Yeah. I mean, if it's just a matter of, doing it, but you want to also do it right. So you want
That was Elottie.
Elottie.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw you right under that bus, girl.
She's the one that stole our lender there for a bit, but yeah, as you're going through the process, you're going to have a lot of questions. What we're trying very hard to do is to make sure that your questions are answered before you think to ask them.
And one thing that we ask is that when we start that application process and we ask you for documentation, please get us the documentation in a timely manner.
Timely.
Don't say, oh, I don't feel well today. In a couple of days, I have to call you and say, I asked you for those bank statements, all the pages of those bank statements.
I'm laughing because it's totally true.
I cannot get you through processing into underwriting without those, all the pages.
Yeah.
So
That's
please
probably one of the most.
get the documentation to us as quickly as possible.
So, because as you're going through the process with Jeff, you're also going through the process with underwriting. It's a lot of process. It's 30 days of your life. You will never get it back. It is very time consuming, but just make sure that you have the time set aside to do that. And the more paperwork you have set up front, the better off you're going to be.
Yes.
Because it's not like you're asking for stuff that's like way out in left field normally.
And if I'm asking you for something, it's because it's needed. It's not to put misery into your life.
I don't buy that.
It is documentation that is required.
Right. But yeah, I've had where it takes them like a week to get the paperwork they were supposed to do it on like a Tuesday. They get it the following Tuesday. And, the underwriter's trying to get to closing, the lender's trying to get to everybody's working hard to get to closing, but it seems like it's like pulling teeth to get the paperwork. And then the lender comes back and is like, I got everything I need, but it's going to be a little bit more time. We need to do an extension. And then the buyer is like, I thought you said 30 days. 30 days if you get the paperwork in on time.
Yes.
Okay.
You cost us 8 by not sending me paperwork.
Exactly. That week delay was on you. Not on them.
And we
So,
give
yeah.
you a checklist up front. Things
Like,
we
you need
need.
this. You need all of this. And maybe some more, but definitely all of this.
Yes.
So yeah, it's normally when I sit down and talk to the buyers, I'm like, now look, and sellers too, actually.
Yeah.
All right. Now a closing date is kind of like playing darts. Okay. We're going to aim for the bullseye of Wednesday in the middle of whatever month. But it might be just outside of that by the time we get, because there's so many moving parts
Mhm.
to it. So many moving parts. So as we get a little closer to it, once we're through with appraisal, we've got the survey. Once we're about a week away, once you're ready to go ahead and lock down that insurance, that's about the time where I'm like, okay, I know the day and the hour of your closing. Before that, it's a little more questionable. If the survey guy is booked out 2 weeks,
All right. The appraiser.
the appraiser doesn't get there at a reasonable day and time, or they have to reschedule because it's like lightning and thunder, rain outside, or who knows? Who knows? Whatever.
See ya.
Bye. So yeah, pending all of that, but just please, yes, please get your paperwork in on time. It will make your life so much easier and allow for the buyer and their moving truck to get to where they're supposed to go
On time.
Yeah, on time. So yeah, but yeah, basically that's essentially it's moving parts. That's a lot of moving
A
parts.
lot of them there.
Yeah, but basically, lender, house, home inspection, appraisal. Tell me if I'm missing one. Survey, insurance, closing.
Yes.
More or less.
Yes.
In a
Oh,
nutshell.
Because
In a nutshell.
that insurance, like I said, the quotes up
Eh.
front, but don't lock it down until,
Yeah,
yes,
easy.
maybe a week before closing.
Yeah, we got this. We got this.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. So yeah, and when you go shopping with Jeff, pick out your first house and then maybe a secondary house too, just in case the first house you give them an offer of 30,000 under market price, or something like that. Just make sure you got that second part.
Yeah, because the reason why we want those quotes up front,
Yeah.
is because, when we pre-qualify, we're going to kind of look at that house and maybe what another house maybe went for homeowners insurance, but
Right.
we're guesstimating there.
Mhm.
So that could change their debt ratios
Mm-hmm.
depending on that homeowners insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And they may or may not qualify when that homeowners insurance comes in at 3,500 and we may have guesstimated 2,000.
Right.
So
Yeah.
debt ratio could be on the border there.
Yeah. And also HOAs.
Yes.
Some people don't realize, but when you are getting a quote and it's for not in an HOA, and then you go ahead and get an HOA that's maybe $100, $200, $300 a month, that changes what you're qualified for
Yes.
drastically. So you might think that you're set up for, 200,000, but then when you have a $300 a month HOA fee, it's going to change your numbers.
Yep.
It's going to change your numbers considerably. So, but we know those things. So when you come in and you're like, here's what I'm looking at, here's my pre-approval letter. I just got a pre-approval yesterday sent over to me. And, I was like, what kind of financing? What is it exactly? She's like, oh, I'm just going to send it over to you. And I'm looking through it and I'm like, okay, so you're going to need closing costs. You're going to need this. You're going to need that. Changes things considerably
Yes.
for going shopping. If they say I have VA, okay, well, I'm going to look at houses that say VA.
Yep.
If the buyer is wanting to pay with VA and they have a pre-approval with VA, and the seller is like, I'm not taking VA because I lost out on an appraisal or something
Mhm.
from 10 years ago, and I'm kind of still grumpy about it. I can't show that house.
My last house was delayed 2 months for the VA inspection. Yeah, that was 10, 15 years ago, but.
And this is
like I
from
said,
a veteran.
They're still mad
Okay,
about it.
like-
No, look, I'm just telling you. I've heard it.
VA gets a bad rep.
They really do.
VA
And the inspection has come a long way from my first VA home.
Yes.
It really has. The first one, I was sweating bullets, and they look a
There was
lot deeper than they do now.
Back in the day, there was a lot
Yes.
of paperwork, took a long time. It's not that.
But the
case
VA inspection
anymore.
now is not.
No.
It was
It's not
nowhere
as bad.
near as intense as mine was. But a lot of sellers don't realize that they had that bad experience
Correct.
15 years ago, and they're
Yes.
like, "Oh no, I'm not taking a VA loan." It's like,
Sometimes it's not even the seller. Sometimes it's the realtor.
it's the realtor. Correct.
Sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I love you guys.
It is
but,
what it is.
Yeah, I'm telling you honestly. But I mean, I can't blame them too. If they are supposed to be giving their
best
opinion
advice.
and their experience
Absolutely.
and their advice based off of their experience, And if they've had multiple bad experiences, even though it was several years back and they haven't touched it since, based on their experience, it sucked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's
I'm gonna,
understandable, but
I'm not gonna do that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I can understand. Definitely. There for a little while, I was like, I do not want to put VA on a contract when it was going absolutely mayhem. Everybody's coming in with cash from
Mhm.
California. I was like, I really do not want to even remotely put VA on a contract because it's going to be really hard.
And that's what was happening when we were having the housing movement there.
Movement.
Good word.
It's a nice
Good word.
word for it.
In
You see a boom. We'll go with the boom.
21, your sellers only wanted conventional because they were afraid
If that, yeah.
they were afraid of your FHA, VA, and USDA. They were only wanting conventional
Yep.
offers.
there was so many. It was cash conventional only. That's all they were looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I can't fault them because the houses did bounce like 40% essentially overnight.
Yeah.
So those appraisals, in case you didn't know, are based off of sold prices and pending prices and active. These are the prices that have happened. So if they're basing it off of sold from 6 months ago, and the house is now 40% more because that's what the market's doing, that appraisal ain't going to go through.
Mm-hmm.
It does not matter that you cannot find a house at that price at this time. They're looking at what happened before. And that definitely kicked me a few times during that time. So, I mean, we got it through, but we had to switch some of them to FHA or whatever to conventional just because it just wasn't keeping up with the market.
Yeah.
So, but it was just flying straight up. So it wasn't their fault. They had the data and the stats. And that's all an appraisal is, really.
Yeah.
Exactly.
An
opinion.
It's an opinion. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Well, I don't know what time that is.
Why not?
It's
10 to 2.
Thank you. It says 13:51.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know what that means.
Military time.
And my Fitbit died a horrible death halfway through the 5K this morning. So, but yes, so we're about 10 minutes out. Do y'all have any questions? We got a few people on there. So we've had quite a few jump in and jump out. So now is the time to ask. We've been sitting here chit-chatting all the way through. Questions, comments, concerns, or otherwise. I'll give them another 60 seconds. Some of them are sitting there watching TV in their living room going, how on earth would I type a question in? I think you can use your remote, but that's got to be time consuming.
It is, unless you're a gamer.
Yeah, maybe. I cannot tell you how many people I have. Actually, I have a buyer that he says, I got to come in and I'm going to put my big screen TV and I watch you every single week. And I'm like, that is truly intimidating. I can't even imagine what my pores must look like on like an 80-inch or something. That is some craziness. He's like, yeah, and I always, turn it up really loud, and I'm in an apartment right now, so I gotta turn that way up. I'm like, I cannot even. There are some things I don't need to know.
Yeah. I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to hear it. It's okay. Thank you for watching. Can you do it on your phone?
Right. Make it smaller.
Make it much smaller. Hide all the flaws. Oh, no, I'm not seeing any come in. I think we're good. I think we are set. So thank you so much for joining us today. If y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, or otherwise, go ahead and hit up Jeff. He's got his email up there in the chat. Just copy and paste. This will be available if you want to rewatch later. Then it will be available up on the channel. Just look for our live shows and it'll be in one of those.
If I did it right, it's going to be up there. Okay. Remember, I started this thing.
Karen, did you already put your email
there.
address in there
Yes.
too? All right. It's probably up on the top. Oh, no,
No, it's
I
right
do
there.
see it. Oh my God. It's literally the size over here, but he's got it a little smaller, like over in the corner. Oof. I don't even want to see that nonsense either. So that is some terrible. Anyway, but yeah, if you guys have any questions for Karen, or if you want her to send you the application, I promise she's not going to hold it against you if it doesn't go through. It just will help you see where you're at you can have a chat with Karen. She seems very, very nice, very non-judgmental, more teaching. I mean, she even wanted to explain what a PMI was to me. I was like, oh, that's I was like, oh. So I mean, don't hesitate. Okay. Just go ahead and send her an email and she'll chit chat with you. Is there any other better way to get a hold of you? That's the best way.
Either phone, which the number's there, text, or email.
Okay. Awesome. All right. All right. Thanks so much. Thanks again for watching, y'all. Have a good afternoon and a great weekend. See you guys later.
See y'all.
Bye.